What is up, guys? My name is Coriola, and welcome to episode 44 of my Out of the Park Baseball 17 franchise here with the Kansas City Royals. And we are here at the 2028 first-year player draft, and you are going to be shocked when you look up and see my record. 31-20. Second place in the division, only one game back of the Chicago White Sox. And this is 1 year after we finished the season with over 100 losses, giving us the number one overall pick, which ironically we are about to use in today's draft. But the reason why has got to be our pitching staff. Our starter ERA, it hasn't been great, mostly because we've had a couple outliers, but Crow, Deerdorf, and Molina all have ERAs under 4. When I look through it, Deerdorf is probably the least substantial, most likely to continue, because he's got a low strikeouts per 9 and a really high walks per 9. Will Crow is kind of same thing, really, really low BABIP. Same with Deerdorf, has a low BABIP too. Molina, his strikeouts could be higher, but his BABIP is fine. His walks are fine. His home runs are a bit high. I really hope you didn't just hear that. A loud-ass notification just went through my headphones. I hope that didn't pick up on the recording. But anyway, speaking of recording, I said in the description of the last episode that I would be taking a bit of a break, and it has been a few days, until I could fix my audio problem. And hopefully you can hear right now that it has been fixed. I've got my fan on, my computer, even hopefully you can't hear my chair squeaks. And that is because I've upgraded from regular OBS to OBS Studio for one reason in particular, and that is because it has a feature called noise suppression, which, unlike a noise gate, which just turns off the microphone when there are sounds lower than a certain decibel level going on, it actually completely blocks them and does not record them at all. So I did a couple test recordings, and I wasn't able to hear any background noise, and my voice sounded louder and clearer, so hopefully you guys think the same thing, and we're good to go. I'm going to record this clip and then check the audio to make sure I'm not eating my own words, and if it's good, then I'm going to be thrilled. But let's quickly go over the rest of the team. The two pitchers who have struggled are Ventura and Steve Truckee, and after today, which is Steve Truckee's start, he will not be in the rotation. I will explain that in just a second. Neil Stranahan in the bullpen, 4.50 ERA, Garrett 3.62, Allard 2.39, McKenzie 3.31, and the back end Jensen 2.92, Volmar 3.29, and Gunter 3.50. The pitching staff was terrible last year, and they've done so much better this year, and that is exactly why we are doing better right now. Starting lineup: Armando Galvin hitting 273, getting on base at a 374 clip. Tony Alcala 278, 322 on base. Kent Early 332 average, but only a 338 on base. He only has 8 home runs too. Billy Napier is on an absolute fucking tear. He's hitting 335 with 13 home runs, 382 on base. He has been our best hitter this year. Seager has struggled. 223, 272 on base, 6 home runs. We only have this year and next year guaranteed with him, and a team option for 2030, which will certainly decline with no buyout. Carlos Reyna hitting 306, 4 home runs. Rivelino Morella, who I had to call up when Manny Sanchez came back and then immediately went down for almost the rest of the entire season. So I called up Morella, who seemed the most MLB ready. He's done a great job so far, hitting 296, and then Bryce Terang hitting 313, and Raul Castro hitting 242. And something I noticed is that we have way too many lefties in the lineup. Right now we have 7 lefties in the lineup, 1 right-handed hitter, and 1 switch hitter. So I wanted to make a move, find a center fielder who was a righty, could play well, good defense, and was kind of a just a better hitter than Raul Castro in general. And I found a guy and made that trade just a second ago. We got Brian Cohen from the Washington Nationals for Kurt Hamilton. Hamilton was hitting something like 0.87 in the majors. He was a 2-star, and Cohen was sitting in their AAA, but it was a nice 1-for-1 switch. I think he's a good hitter, great defender. Not great, but solid defender. And he will platoon with Castro in center field, as well as Rosario and Turang are going to start platooning at shortstop. Just because I want to get more right-handed bats in the lineup. So, I mentioned something about Steve Truckee not being in the rotation anymore. Basically, well, who wants to spoil the surprise? I'll go through the draft first. We've got the number 1 overall pick, and it is a pretty disappointing class. If you look at all the players that are rated 4.5 stars or 5 stars, we've got Alejandro Lopez, a catcher, Paul Timmerman, a closer, Alex Fibbo, a shortstop, Jesus Figueroa, a catcher, Omar Hernandez at first base, Doug Hoyt, another catcher, David Kienholz is the highest-rated pitcher. Then we've got Martin Lawson, another catcher. And then we've got Chris Pfaff, another pitcher. And here's Miguel Reyes. He's got the highest bonus demand of any pitcher in this draft. He looks, if those potentials work out, to be good, but his stuff control and that third pitcher all really low right now. And he's 18 years old, out of high school. We've got another high school lefty who again struggles with his current stuff control and changeup, that third pitch. And we've got another catcher, Carlos Sandoval, and then Phil Stanfield, who honestly I think is the best pitcher in this class. But I just don't think his control is that trustworthy. I don't like him. Spoiler, I'm not drafting him, and that's it. The guy I'm actually planning on drafting is the first guy I showed you, Alejandro Lopez. We need a franchise catcher, and more so on the OSA than on the Head Scout ratings, but he looks like he's going to turn into a beast. He was a college hitter, hit .316, 403 on base, and 14 home runs in just 193 at-bats. He's got decent defending. He's got a good arm. He's not too fast, which is kind of downside. It's really between him, and that's OSA, and Stanfield. I just kicked my trash can. You probably will be able to hear that over the sound gate. I can speak words of English. I don't know, I just don't love Stanfield. But at the same you know, we're going to go with my gut. We're going to take our franchise catcher, Alejandro Lopez. First overall pick. And now we've got 2 more first-round picks. As we auto-draft to our next pick, let's just take a look at the draft log. Reyes went number 2 to Cleveland. Then Rhodes went 3 to Arizona. Stanfield went 8 to Arizona. Anyone else I was looking at? Not really. There's still a couple catchers there, so if I had taken Lawson, I could get a guy like Manny Lawson or Doug Hoyt. Although they're all really small. Or Carlos Sandoval. Alright, sorry for that little cut there. I was just lost in thought for a second and forgot I needed to speak. So it's our second round pick, and now I want some pitchers. Or not our second round pick, our supplemental picks. And there's not a ton here on as far as pitching. Joe Holt's a pretty good pitching prospect, but the guy I like the most right here is Steve Carrasco. His movement is a bit concerning, but I do like his pitches. I like his stuff plus. I like that stuff plus control in a lefty. And so Steve Carrasco will be our second pick, still in the first round, and our third first round pick. It's between Ryan Pick, haha, funny, and Jaden Breddy. And Breddy looks like a more solid pitcher overall, but I like Pick's 3 high potential pitches, and they're all really good right now already. Like, he's pretty close to MLB ready. So Ryan Pick will be our third first-round pick. Going with guys that don't seem to have too high of a ceiling here, except for Lopez, obviously. But I'm definitely fine with the guys I'm getting. Now I'm going to pick up David Kienholz, because I think that third pitch could get better than a 45, and if it's at a 45, that's a serviceable starter. I love his stuff movement and control, those ratings, and if worst comes to worst, he's going to be a dominant closer, because usually the stuff goes up when you put him in the bullpen, and you only really need 2 pitches. So at worst, Kienholz is going to be a solid major league reliever arm for us. So he'll be our second round pick. Round number 3, now we're getting into the batters, and the guy I like the most here is third baseman Micah Stevens. Just looks like a solid overall hitter. He's got great defense and solid speed for a third baseman, and so he will be our third round pick. It's so weird because he's the 5th guy I drafted, but nope, just third round. Now we've got round 4, and we're taking right fielder Alex Ione. Just good hitter, good defense, good speed. He's a right-handed right fielder, which are hard to find. You mostly get either left-handed batters or a left fielder. So I'm definitely happy with getting Ione. Round 5, we've got center fielder Chris Emma. He kind of reminds me of Castro with a bit more power, because he's got like that good center field defense, good speed, but not necessarily great contact. But he does have good power, and a power hitting outfielder, especially in center field, is always nice to have. So he will be our next pick. Round number 6, we've got more infield, and that is going to be Nick Scully. I like Stevens definitely more than Scully, but Scully, again, looks like a solid batter, decent speed. He's got really good OSA ratings, so he could be a good trade chip. He is versatile. He can play second base as well, and he doesn't have crappy speed, which is always nice for kind of a power hitter guy. He's not really a power hitter. He's got 50 potential power, but I call him a power hitter. Round 7, we've got Frank Powell. Really? I'm seeing the avoid strikeouts. The avoid strikeouts are definitely a concern, but a plus is his versatility on the infield and his good home run power and eye. It's weird. You've got really good eye, but bad strikeouts. You strike out a lot. That's kind of strange. Round 8, we've got Ivan Moreno. Again, the avoid strikeouts is a bit of a concern, but he does look like a very, very solid hitter if he pans out. So he will be our next pick. In round number 8, round number 9, we're just start blazing through them. Jeremy Lina, versatile infielder, decent hitter, good speed. He'll be our next pick. Round 10, we've got center fielder Corey Reagan. Good speed, versatile, good contact. Looks like he gets on base a lot. He's got good eye. Doesn't strike out too much. Next pick, we've got Tim Montanez, a shortstop. Only thing that concerns me is the eye and the defense, but he's got good speed, good power, good contact. He doesn't strike out. Looks like a pretty solid draft pick. Next round, we've got Dennis Meadows, a catcher. Good power, good eye, and good avoid strikeouts, decent defense, decent contact. That is what I like about him. And I believe he was a righty. Now we've got Jason Jones, a shortstop. Really versatile, good discipline, good contact, decent speed, and he's already got really high ratings in a bunch of those offensive categories. 40 is pretty high for a guy in the first-year player draft. Next, we've got left fielder Carl Walker. looks like more of a first base prospect, but he looks a lot like Armando Galvin. You know, not great power, but gets on base and is all right at defense. Next, we've got Dan Crowley, a catcher who's already got pretty high hitting ratings. He's got good contact and decent defense. I just drafted the wrong guy. Nice. All right. Well, that might throw that's going to throw a hitch into things. All right, we're still going to try to finish this. We're going to take Crowley now, just kind of set everything back around. This pick, all right, he didn't get taken. We've got Dave Bordner, a second baseman. Not great offensive stats, but I do like the avoid strikeouts. Now, we've got Johnny Sarabia. Already high overall rating. 1 star is pretty good for a first-year player draftee. Decent defense, good speed, decent looking hitting at ratings. He will be our... Whoops. My mouse is a bit laggy with the new recording software. Hope that's not a, permanent issue. Next, we've got, hopefully, Dan Ralston's still there. And he's a left fielder. Good power, good discipline. Can you please drag him for the love of God? Dan Ralston. Okay. You gotta get your shit together, mouse. This table is clean. Why are you doing this? There's nothing on here that should make it difficult on you. You're making it difficult on me, which is not okay. And last pick, we've got Eric Bertelson. I don't like him in the slightest, but he's got high ratings from my scouts, and he doesn't have a demand, so might as well draft him. And that will be our draft. All right. I'm pretty sure we offered everyone negotiation or contracts already. Guadalupe Lobo was impossible. Great. Which he does not look. How much does he want? Yeah, he's not getting that. All right, just the accidental pick just set us back. Rounded Montelongo, a guy I was avoiding because he was impossible, does not want a lot as far as impossible signees go. So I think 800,000 should be enough to get him. And now for what I promised. Excuse me. We've got plenty of money. All right. He might not accept a 700,000. All right. So today's Steve Truckey's start, which we lose. And Montelongo, he did sign. All right, that's nice. So what I was planning on doing with Steve Truckey, I'm going to put him into the bullpen because we need another left-hander reliever. We're going to send down Neil Stranahan, who I don't really know why he's on the Major League roster in the first place. Does not have good stuff as far as closers go. And he's only got one good pitch. I guess we just didn't have enough guys. And in the minor leagues, who's having a very, very surprisingly nice season, is Sam Danforth. His potential is up to a 2.5 stars. Overall is up to a 2. He's on pace for 4.2 wins above replacement in AAA. He is striking out a bunch of dudes and not walking a ton of dudes. He looks like a major league pitcher, so we are going to call him up and insert him into the rotation into Truckey's start. Truckey will move to the bullpen. He does have pretty good ratings as a reliever. That control is still a concern, but his stuff does get a nice boost moving into the bullpen because usually you don't need as good of stuff as a reliever as you do a starter. So Danforth will be our new starter. He'll just insert into Truckey's spot, and I'll simulate the last game against Houston. Fine. Which we win 9-8, and we are now 1 game back. And yeah, not gonna lie, I forgot to sign pitching and hitting coach because Dave Island, who had a legendary rating, retired, and I just forgot that my hitting coach's contract expired. And so we got 2 new guys. I think they'll be pretty good. They're on short-term deals in case they do poorly. Molina had a rough outing. His ERA jumped over a whole point. Ouch. Yep, 7 runs in an inning and 2/3. Well, you have to stop acting up. I'm talking to my mouse. It's being very weird right now. I'm going to simulate up to international amateurs, check out the recording. Hopefully it sounds good. And then see you back on the 2nd of July. All right, we are back here at the beginning of international free agent signing bonus. Signing begins, not bonus. I looked over the footage I just recorded, and good news, no background noise, but you guys already know that. Bad news is I was a bit breathy. On the old OBS, I had to be right up by the... I just kicked my trash can again. Right up by the microphone to even get it to, like, hear me at all. But now with the new one, it picks me up so much better that when I'm right up, it sounds... so the entire time. So I apologize for that. But I am now sitting away from the microphone, so hopefully that should fix the issue. And we are here at International Amateur Free Agents, and this is the number 1 guy I'm looking at. Carlos Rosales. Just looks like a fantastic pitcher. Just look, his ratings kind of self-explanatory. So we're going to offer him $2.3 million. And hopefully he accepts that. And then there's another pitcher I want to go after. And that is Vicente Medina, another lefty, who just looks a bit more ready, a bit more sure than the guy I just offered contract to, whose name is slipping my mind. We are only offering him $800,000. That'll put us at $3.1 million, which is over the limit, but it does not incur any restrictions for next season. So I don't know. Those might be a bit too low to get them. If we don't get either of them, we're going to put a lot of money into Rosales. But we've been on a nice little 6-game winning streak, and we're still a game and a half back of Chicago in our division. Yeah. But we do have a better record than 3 of the other division leaders in baseball. So there's a very good chance we see the playoffs this season. So let's continue on. As we cannot complete the sweep of Toronto, as Danny Ventura has done much better. His ERA is now under 5. It's down to 4.61. Our entire pitching staff is under 5. It's so nice. It's so beautiful. And only 3 guys are above 4. It is really, really, really beautiful. Lineup. Oh yeah, I was kind of pissed because both of my 2 shortstops went down. Bryce Turang and Ahmad Rosario. So Rosario should be back about 1 to 2 weeks. So we called. Oh no. We called up Ricardo Gation, who has kind of struggled. He struggled in Omaha. He struggled at the major so far, and also Jimin Yoshimura, who only has 2 at bats back in the big leagues and has not had a hit. So, all right, let's see what these international amateurs do, and neither of them signed. So we are putting all of our dollars into Rosales, as we definitely don't want him to go to Detroit. So we're just going to offer him $3.1 million straight up and see if he will accept that. We've got a 3-game set in Chicago. This is a huge series. Game 1. We win and are now half a game away. Vicente Medina signed with Boston. Which reminds me, last episode, I believe you guys saw that Gleyber Torres went to Boston, but I did not show or mention that Dwayne Underwood went to San Francisco. And that is where our first-round supplemental picks came from. Everybody did sign that we offered a contract to from the draft. We are not offering those 3 guys. So, yeah, moving on now. Game 2 against Chicago. We lose, and so, we do get Rosales. So we're back to a game and a half back. So everyone over 18 I need to promote. I always promote guys once they reach age 18 in the international complex. Promote to the DSL. Alright, game 3 against Chicago. Can we... by the way, Danforth has been amazing so far in the bigs. Just wanted to mention that. Chris Deerdorf on the mound for us. I believe that said we lose Deerdorf for 5 days. We lost by 1. So we're 2.5 back, headed into the... Oh, wait, we still have another week. I thought it was this... The All-Star break was this weekend. Never mind. No compensation picks. That's not surprising. We cannot spend any more money without incurring a penalty for next year, which is fine because any of these guys would require going over the limit for in the first place. So 3 games against LA, 3 against Houston, and then 4 against LA. So we lose by 1 for the 3rd straight game. We're still 2.5 back now. We win 7-2. Personnel expiring. Mac Jenkins. You know, our pitching staff has done well. I know it hasn't been entirely because of him, but I'll give him a 2-year extension. And Nick Kenny, you know, some guys have been getting injured recently, but he's still a valuable trainer, so we will offer him an extension. Alright, let's continue simulating. Rubber match against LA. We are a game and a half back of Chicago, and now we had a bad game there. Who was on the mound for us? That was Danforth. His first rough outing in the majors. We lose 12-5. And we've got 4 against Houston. 3 against Houston, then 4 against LA. We lose the first one, another 1-run loss. Now a 2-0 loss, and game 3. Can we salvage the series? We can. And Rosario's coming back, so let's see. Yoshimura or Gaishin? No, Gaishin's been decent. Yoshimura is just bad. So we'll bring back Ahmad Rosario. Place him as the starting shortstop. No, why is my mouse being so weird and I knock over my trash can again? I just rearranged my room, so I'm not used to that stuff being there. And there's my phone. But you shouldn't be able to hear that anymore, which is great. Really don't know what position he's playing? Or you know what position Morel's playing. Okay. Alright. Just 2 more. As my mouse is making this painstakingly slow. Wait. No, Alcala is not the right fielder. He's second base. There we go. And 1 more. And Cohen is right field. There we go. Alright, now we've got 4 against LA before the All-Star break. We are 2.5 behind Chicago. We lose 3-2 again. Now we lose 5-2. 4 games back of Chicago now. Now we're 5 games back. Yikes, we just lost 7 out of our last 8, and and 10 out of our last 13. That is not good. But we do have the All-Star break, so hopefully that'll allow us to recoup. Yeah, a few guys struggled on the staff. Yikes. Alright, All-Star rosters. Who we got this year? Again, we have nobody, even though we're having a pretty good season. I hate this glitch in OTP. Fix it, please. I would definitely make a wish list video. We were 6 games down, headed into All-Star break. I don't really see anybody on this team I want to acquire, like a position I specifically want to upgrade, so I think we're just going to start simulating. As Terang is eligible to come back, so Gaishin will head to AAA. Oh, wait, I forgot to activate Bryce Trang. Alright, there we go. Just generate depth chart with him in the backup position, as it's now thundering at my house. But again, hopefully you can't hear that shit anymore. Alright. Continuing on, we've got 3 against Detroit, 3 against Cleveland, and 4 against Boston. And then a break on the deadline. We win 9-1. That is a good way to come out of the break. Firing on all cylinders. Win 6-5. Can we sweep Detroit? We cannot. We are 5 games back. We gained 1 game in that series. Houston trying to send us a second baseman for Evan Nichols. No thanks. Looks like the N4th had another rough game. Now we've got 3 against Cleveland. We lose 12-4. Ouch. Win 6-2, still 5 back. Can we take the series? We can, and we are still 5 back. That was Molina's start. Yikes. Paul Garrett also struggled. And Volmar. Damn. Alright, now 4 against Boston before the deadline. You know, we weren't really expecting to contend this year, so I'm not going to really make a deadline push as we lose 1-0. All these one-run games got me like, ugh. Game 2, we lose. It's like, it's a speak of the devil, sending us another crappy second baseman. All right, if we can salvage the last 2 games of the series, split it, head into the deadline. We win 1-0, take a game back from Chicago. Who was that pitching last night? Molina making up for his last rough start. And last game will be Chris Deerdorf. So this was, no, that was Ventura. Deerdorf was this 6-2 game we won. Alright. And then we've got the deadline. As we win 6-5, we are still 6 games back. So we did lose a game during this series. 13-inning win. Alright, so here are our stats for the deadline. We only have 1 pitcher over 5, and that's Bob Volmar because he had 1 rough game. I'm not putting too much stock into that. Ventura's all the way down to 414. Finally, worth the money we are paying him, which is just $4 million this year. But we did give him a nice little big contract. Let's take a look at our prospects. Velasquez is up to AAA. He's hitting .306. Thank you. Oh my god. Right before the episode started, I sent him down to Wilmington because he started the season off at Northwest Arkansas, hit shitty, went down to Wilmington, got called back up by the CPU, and has started hitting like a boss. Justin Houston in AAA is struggling, not doing great. Ovale's struggling. Bobby Gorton's doing well in rookie ball. Morel is kind of struggling in the bigs. His kind of came down, so we might look to. We're not calling up Velasquez now. We're not calling up Danny Velasquez. Canterbury's only hitting .255. Bilbo's another lefty. We're not calling up Velasquez yet. Jonathan Ramirez has hit .193 in Burlington. Alejandro Lopez has hit .272 in Burlington. So, yes, I'm very excited for him. Keinholz, .241 in the Arizona Summer League. Who else we got? Yeah, Danny Cabello is struggling in Omaha, and Ramirez is struggling in Burlington. But it looks like a pretty bright future for us, even after some guys like Corey Seager do end up leaving. So I hope you guys did enjoy this episode. Watch this section where I've been further away from my mic be too quiet, and the first section be too loud. Let me know in the comments what you think about the new audio, kind of not really setup, but like just like how it sounds right now. And thank you guys for watching. I will see you all next time. Goodbye.